I feel like it's been forever since I've heard that music. I'm so excited. I did my little chair dance. I was like, why not?
I changed it up a little bit because we're making it where we're live in both groups now for all these sessions. So I'm like, I need to change it up a little bit, but I really like the countdown and the music. I liked it. So I'm like, oh, I'm keeping it right now.
It's good. It's a little high energy, like lift up. Let's get ready to go. Let's go live on stage. Yeah, I like it. It was good. It was good. I like it. So
I'm
how are you?
excited for this class. I'm excited. I know we've done a lot with CRM. I'm pretty sure we've done even a basic, but I don't think we've done it since like
the last year.
was really kind of released.
Well, and we talked about, like, we get into some of this stuff when we talk about the hyperlocal pages or when we talk about building content on your site, but we haven't done specifically just this granular part of it. So I'm excited because this is something that everybody has to do. Everybody can use. It's understandable across all levels of tech savvy. And this is like the basic, let's get going, launch your site. Like, even if you're using something else, if you follow these steps, you've got a killer little booj site, which is
right. So if you don't have anything, or even if you do have another website, you still need to, like what we're going to go through is kind of your profile, setting up the notifications, because you're still getting leads, whether it be from Megaphone, from Remax.com, from your broker site, if they're using booj, like you still need to set this up so you know how to get these leads and what to do and your notifications and all of that. So I think we're going to go through like the settings, notifications, which is really the juicy stuff that it seems boring. But
the juicy stuff, it's not boring. This is how you get business. This is how you get new leads. That can't be boring. Well, and the stuff that I'm going to cover in a few minutes is on Remax.com. If somebody hears that you're with Remax, they're going to go to Remax.com and try and find you. And the very first part of this session is that it's how to make sure that that looks amazing. So
and
that
they don't have to go to Remax.com. If you Google your name plus Remax, your profile and all this information is going to show up whether you want it to or not. It just is.
Yeah, look at that. Automatic SEO mojo. All right, cool. Let's dig in. Let me see. You have my screen, right?
Yep. You ready?
Okay, cool.
All right.
Yes, I'm ready. Let's go. So I skipped over the very first step, which is go to remax.net and log in. That's an important piece. Now, I don't know about you, but I've got a gazillion and a half different passwords, and I don't passwords. English is my first language, I swear. So passwords, and I forget about them all the time. So if you do, you can click that little forgot password or reach out to product support. The 800 number is right on remax.net. But in here, I know we're talking about booj websites, but that's not where we're going to head first. First thing we're going to do is click on your picture. And if you haven't uploaded your picture, it's going to be a balloon over here on the right-hand side. That's this little over here. And we're going to go to view my profile. This is what we're talking about. Like if somebody searches your name plus Remax, this profile information is going to show up on remax.com. So here we've got Bruce. We're looking at Bruce and we're scrolling down and we see that he has all this profile information in here. But if I want to edit any of that, I'm going to click on update. So that's the important piece. And I think you really should give your profile a refresh every now and again to make sure that it's got the right information, that it's got updated information so that, oh, look, a little marketplace. Marketplace is awesome.
Up yesterday, so that I haven't watched the video yet. I'm back.
It's good. It's good. It's good. All right. So the profile, pretty basic here. It's a little bit, if you're not looking for it, you might miss it, but that little edit on each one of these sections is how you edit the information that's in there. And the things that I would edit, your photo. Hey gang, that Glamour Shots photo from 1985, we want to make sure that's updated. If you have one of those photos, I get it. I have it too. It's hidden in a shoebox in my closet way over there, but it should not be the thing you're using for your professional profile here on remax.com. But to click edit, we would go into edit and then you can see, well, this is just your demographics, your information, you edit. Hold on, hold the phone, edit. There we go. So here, this is your contact information. This ISP, this is something I explain to new agents every time they come in. So you've got this remax.net address, and then you have this internet service provider email address.
Oh, I never knew what ISP meant.
There you go. Internet service provider.
Where your emails were kind of going.
There you go. Yeah, but that's not two different inboxes that you have to check, just so you know. Like, this is kind of like a ghost email that's going to point to wherever this is. So it's not like you got to go check a new email inbox. Whatever email address you have down here, you can, I believe, yep, you can edit that. You can remove it. You can change it, whatever you need to do.
Well, don't remove it. Make sure there's something.
No,
Oh, yeah.
no. There's got to be something there. I'm sorry. Yes, don't remove. Websites and social media sites. So here, if we wanted to add, let's say we wanted to add our Facebook profile, you would choose Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. And again, and I'm sure you're going to have this on yours because you're so good with all your people that you work with, that their profiles are going to be under, their little links are going to be under their profile. This is where it happens. This is where you add it. So that Facebook one, you go to your Facebook, copy that URL, paste it in here, and you want to make sure it's included in the web directory. Having that one checked off is important, or that little box won't show up.
And I believe the same thing with the website. I believe the website has to have primary and web directory for the icon to actually show up.
100%. Yep. You have to, if you want it to show up. I don't know why you would put it in here and not do that, unless maybe you're just
don't know.
up. Yeah. If you're beefing up your LinkedIn profile and you want to change it up a little bit, but you want to make sure you got the link and put it in there, fine. Then go back later and check it off. But if it's me, I'm checking it off every single time. Your phone numbers too, you can add any kind of phone number you want. See, 800, alternate home, whatever you like. And then one of them is going to have to be primary and the rest of them just included in the web directory.
Which one pulls over to the profile? Is that the direct?
Whatever the primary is marked as. So like this one's not, this one is. So this is the one that said it's primary. So when we look at his website, we would see this.
Okay.
Let me make that little change. Exactly as you see, it must be 7 digits. So cancel that so I don't change anything. And notice I tried to put in a dash here. It doesn't want that. It just wants numbers. So just so you know, don't put dashes or whatever you want there. There we go. Next section is where the photo is, and I'm going to move around over here on the left. So here's that photo. You could replace the photo, and when you go to replace it, it just tells you it has to be under 5 megs, and it has to be a JPEG or a PNG. Professional details. This is where it gets a little, want to make sure we explain this. You're going to have office service areas. Whatever your office contractually serves with corporate, that's going to be listed here. You get to add additional service areas, just the 5, but you get to add on top of. You wouldn't add the same ones. This is for
when someone's searching for an agent, whether it be on remax.com or even the intranet, like looking to do a referral. They're going to populate under those search results for whatever their actual address, office address, plus the office cities, in addition to whatever extra cities they put in.
Correct. So like when you're on remax.net and you click on find and type in a location, this is where that's pulling from. So like if you're like, oh, well, I typed in Exeter and it didn't pop up. Well, that's probably because you didn't have it in it as a service area. That's not leads. That's just people finding you. Leads is going to be the next thing we look at. So professional details. You can also add activities and prior affiliations down here too if you want. Specialties. This is residential, commercial, or if you're commercial, residential, like the other way. Things change for you in the system if you're a commercial res or just a commercial agent. So be careful not to mess with that too much. Personal details. Okay. Everybody should have a bio.
If not, Remax creates one for you.
Yes. But I don't like the stock one. I want to be me, right? So you should have a bio, and sometimes it can be hard to write a bio. So my advice is always answer 3 questions. What's your why? And put that in a couple of sentences. What's your background? And put that in a couple of sentences. What did you do before real estate? And then any specialties or education that you have. So 3 paragraphs. What's your why? What did you do before real estate? And what are your specialties in education? If you can't think of a fancy schmancy bio, just answer those 3 questions and you've got it all down, right?
I like that answer. I'm like, just go look at other people's and get ideas.
That too. That'll work too.
I don't need to copy it, but just look at others and look at a good one and do the same thing.
Yeah. Oh, and I love that. You could even use the Ford model in your bio. Yes. 100% Facebook user. Sorry, there's no name on there. Educational.
But Anna. Why isn't she popping up?
Is it Anna?
Yes. Why are
Yes.
you Facebook user, Anna?
She didn't click on the link and say, okay, Facebook, you can tell who I am. Family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. There you go. Which, yes, 100%. Educational background, if you have an alma mater that you are really proud of, throw that in there for sure. Any certifications that you may have. This isn't where you put the designations. That's different. That would be up here in your bio. Civic activities, this is where, again, when people are searching for you in the Find It affiliate and they put down, I want somebody who is civic activity, who's in the Rotary, who does Meals on Wheels, who works with Habitat for Humanity. You put that in civic activities. Hobbies is where you put like, I ride Jeeps, I ride motorcycles, I'm a huge cricket user. Crafting, you put that all in there, thrown out. And then languages as well. You put in, yes, Anna, we can see you now. Woohoo!
She was having her own conversation.
I see that. Yeah. MLS affiliations. Now, this is a biggie. So you're going to talk about websites and a really awesome new feature with websites about listings, but I won't. That's all I'm going to say. But the MLS ID, if your listings are not showing up on your website, it's because your MLS ID, likely because your MLS ID is not in here. And if you are in multiple MLSs, you want to add all of those MLS IDs. Even if there's duplications, I think they have a way to figure that out. But make sure that your MLS ID is in this little section, or your listings will not show up on your website.
Well, and they won't be attached to you on remax.com, which is even more important because then you're not getting your listing leads. So twofold.
That's a big deal.
It's a big deal. Make sure most, I think brokers have all signed that, but just make sure, and if you were fed before, you should be fine. But if for some reason you go to like your listing on remax.com and some other agent's popping up, this is the first spot you want to go. Like, 100%. Okay, we need to be attached. Because that's all your megaphone, your AdWords, that's all the advertisement that's being done on your behalf. It's all kind of, this is super
tied into that. Super, super important. So let's go back. I'm going to and then your award history. So look at Bruce. He's got all these awards and those are all calculated automatically.
Is 2021 on there yet?
Hold on. Nope.
Oh, darn it. Because there's a way in our profile we can see where we're at, right?
Yeah, that's under hold on. That's somewhere else.
I was just actually talking to one of my agents and I was like, I know it's in there.
So that was all under update profile.
Sorry, I totally went off on a different tangent. I was just thinking, oh, but it's right
totally
there.
Update profile and MLS affiliation. So if you do nothing, I mean, you should do everything that we just talked about, but if you do nothing else, this is a key one if that one's not set up already. So that's the settings in Mac Center, right? And those are really important for getting into like the basic, because everything you put there, it feeds to booj, it feeds to Megaphone, it feeds to remax.com, it feeds to I don't know, just like all the systems are going to feed from that little, all that stuff you put in, right? Am I missing some?
On a broker level, if they're a member of multiple MLSs, I'm pretty sure it shows up in all of the agents as well, right?
Yes, okay. It should. It should, to my knowledge, it should. It's been, thankfully, a few years since we were in multiple MLSs, but like, I love that whole bright conversion. It all all 9 of them went into one.
Yeah, we're in multiples, and I'm pretty sure it does show up. Like all of them show up there, but
yeah,
we have a primary.
So here now we're going to go into booj and talk about settings. Again, this is a website session, but that was a critical part to getting the website part set up. So we're going to go into booj, right on the dashboard, and again over on the right, see, they kind of keep that very similar. We're going to go to settings, and this is about leads. So this is about lead flow. This is not website settings. This is, now that I have my settings on Mac Center done, I'm going to come into booj and make sure I can get the leads that I am due as an agent. My listing leads, the leads in service, the zip codes that I service, and how do I get notified that I've got leads. That's what we're going to cover. So I clicked on settings on the right hand side. And now I'm going to come over here to settings pages and snap right down to contacts and leads. Because if you're doing nothing else, this is super basic. And down to offered leads right out of the gate. I want to make sure that the 10 zip codes that I service are listed here. And there is a little trick, because I've seen agents do this. I'm going to get rid of one of them. If you type in 19533 and then a comma and 19609, that's not going to do it.
I see
see
that
it
a lot.
all the time, all the time. You can't do that because now the system's like, I don't know what that is. That's not a zip
You
code.
won't get any leads because there's not a zip code with this, comma, this, comma, this.
So 19533, I think, was the one I had up there. I'm going to hit enter, and there, look, that one popped in. Don't hit commas. One zip code at a time. Big deal.
Yes, and I have seen that if, you know, and of course and that's the same way, like when you're doing tags on YouTube and stuff like that. It's like you have to, it's like separate.
One at a time, right? The other thing down here, and this is another one, I'm going to click right there on that one. Notice this, and this is one that can be confusing. It was out of the gate, but it's bolded for a reason. Only check these boxes if you don't want to get leads in this specific category. So if you don't want to deal with rentals, you want to check lease. If you don't know anything about farm and land, you want to check those off, right? But most of us are going to want these all unchecked so we get every lead possible into your booj system, every single lead. IDX leads. IDX means leads from non-Remax listings. So if somebody comes onto remax.com, your office site or your multi-office site, you want to make sure that you are getting the leads on listings that aren't a Remax listing. That's what IDX means. And I have no idea why you would check this off unless you were a team leader that just wanted your team to get your listing leads, right? Could that be it? Like Rainmakers? Heather's like, I don't know either. Yeah, but that's, and then this one here below price point, maybe, and yeah, I live in Pennsylvania, and right north of me is Schuylkill County, and there are absolutely properties that list for like $7,000, and that is the same amount of work and same amount of hustle for not a lot of commission. So maybe you don't want to deal in that realm. I get it. So then you say anything below this price point, no, thank you. Anything above a price point, why wouldn't you want $1 million listing? I don't get it. Like, especially with the luxury thing that just got released yesterday. Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
We've been using that for our office. So it was exciting to see that Remax was bringing that in as well.
So cool. That is so neat. Look for videos on that. Really, really cool. But yeah, this filters, you want to make sure all this stuff is unchecked, and then put your cell phone number in here. Even though you had your cell phone number in your profile, that's different. This is so that you can get text messages when a new lead comes in for you, right? So that's why this number's here. That I covered everything on this page, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The only other thing on here and then I'm going to hand it over to Miss Heather, is the notifications. Under notifications, you want almost every single one of these boxes to be checked. If it's too much communication, dial it back. But I'm saying check them all. Check them all. You want to be notified if a lead is transferred to you. You want to be notified if they're shared with you. You want to be notified if a preferred buyer, if they become your preferred buyer agent or you become their preferred buyer agent. You want to be notified if they're deleted, if they delete their account. You want to be notified if they're assigned or offered to you. And if you import contacts, you want to be notified via probably email. But in-app means right here. So that you know what that means. It doesn't mean on the phone. It means in-app means right here, this little bell over here on the right.
Oh, I did not know that. I thought it was the app that you download and you would get like a push notification. Well, why don't they do that?
Right here. Well, you get a text too. That's why you put your cell phone number in there. So that's over here, these texts. This is for new leads. I don't need to get a text every time somebody updates or shares or transfers. But these things, 100%. Because if you're an agent out on the road, you definitely want to make sure you're getting a text. Check that box off. Tooth parts, check off the box and make sure your phone number is in the offered lead section. So that's the profile, the leads, the notifications, zip codes, the bio, and you're going to do the website. So I think my part's done. Now I get to sit back and watch Miss Heather.
Fun stuff. And then you can just let me know if questions come in, because when I go to share my screen, I won't be able to see anything. So that is super important when you're doing, like, before we even set up a website, the first thing I want to do is exactly what Tavia just did. We need to go to the profile. We need to make sure all the social and the website's showing up. We need to make sure that you're going to get the leads and you have zip codes and all that set up so that when your website is live, or just in general, you should set that up even if you don't use booj. But I wanted to show you how easy it was to set up a basic booj website, like out of the gate, what do I do when I'm going to set up a website? And let me open up some of these other tabs here. So the first thing I do, I go over to the website dashboard, and Candace she has another website, so she let me play with hers because I wanted to try to find a website that was pretty much out of the gate. What does my booj website look like?
Right.
So the first thing I do is I go to the website dashboard, I go down to website settings. And so when I was doing this last night, I was like, what in the what? Where am I at? What did I click on to find this? Because I'd never seen this screen before. And I was like, oh my gosh, we just got all this new stuff. So
I'm so excited. I am so excited.
I swear, like yesterday morning, I did one and we had user options, relaxed or restricted. So this is, am I going to require a forced registration or not? So relaxed, it's basically anybody can do whatever they want on your website. It will never force a registration. If you're looking to capture leads, if you're running Google ads or Facebook ads or anything like that, typically that's when I would say you may want to do restricted. If you're putting money to drive traffic, get some leads. So this is where you would have whatever you want, basically how many listings can they look at on your website before a forced registration prompts them to register on your site. You can have 5. If you're really looking, you could have basically make your website an entire landing page. They can look at one property. It's a teaser. Now, if they want to look at more, they need to go ahead and register. Typically I think on all of my office sites, I have 2 because I want them to get the feel and do searches and have fun with my site before I prompt them. That's only because I'm running a lot of ads. So I feel I need to generate leads. For most agents, I think they have it on relax. So, it's kind of like quality over quantity.
It is. And you will see less leads if it's on relax, but that's okay because the leads you do see will be better leads because they want to give you the information.
So everybody's like, what should I do? And I'm like, it depends. Like, do you like working online leads? It just depends. For me, it's like, I would say to do restricted if you're putting money into driving traffic to your website. And if you're going to work online leads, you have to have that follow-up system. You have to follow up. That's just, it is what it is. So it just depends on what anybody would want. And before, we didn't have this whole section here. We only had on your website, you have your featured listings. By default, it's going to show your listings. Right now, we are in a crazy market. And I know heavy listing agents have no inventory. They're selling, before they really even hit the MLS. So what you can do is you can show my listings as well as my office. So you get 6 blocks on that featured page. If you do not have 6 listings, it'll show in the most recent office listings. But now you can actually even narrow that down. What kind? Because that was my biggest thing. My office for my agents, like we have a ginormous property management department. So I hated having to use the office listings because we would get so many listings. So rentals. So it would show all the other rentals besides them. Now we can limit that. They're not going to see the rental listings. So I can say, I don't want to show rentals. What ones do I want to display other than my listings? I did notice this is including your listings.
This is awesome.
Yes. So that was my biggest thing for my office was because I couldn't eliminate rentals showing up from my office.
Well, and this is important though. Like, and I love that you brought that up because if you like typically don't show rentals, but then you get a new listing and the seller's like, why isn't my listing on your homepage or why isn't my listing there? It might, if it was a rental, you have to go back and check that box. Like that's an important thing to remember if you're going to change this stuff, which you should, because it's great. It's amazing. But if you take that one-off listing that's a rental and you've said, I don't want them to show up in my featured listings, and then it doesn't, remember that when you go, because I guarantee that's going to be something that pops up somewhere for somebody.
And I know for most of the sites, like especially with inventory being so crazy, we're constantly adjusting what shows up on their site. And that's just something, if you're going to use booj, you should get comfortable with this, as well as when we get into that homepage and whether you want custom searches or anything like that. I know in the beginning, we did a lot of neighborhood pages, like specific neighborhood searches. And right now there's nothing there. So it just looks silly. because there's like one listing or it's a blank and nothing's
so
there.
fast. It's just turning over so fast. Well, and this doesn't mean it won't show up on your site at all, just in that featured section. The listing's still going to be there.
Use the generic one that comes out of the box, which I like because it is the one that will show your listings. Of course, if you do get a lot of inventory, you can definitely create save searches, and you could have, I mean, I know when we had big inventory, we would do, hot new listings. It would be those agents. And then we would even have going, gone, and they were the pending listings. So that's how we kind of broke it up. And now it's, with the inventory being crazy, we kind of have to use the offices as to kind of fill in the block. So it's just a matter of what do you want? And we just kind of go from there. So that is the first thing I do. Go to website settings, make sure that that's going to flow in the way I want. The second step is the domain manager. I don't know that I did. Let me go.
There's a save now. Yeah, there's save. Like, I love that.
I didn't really change anything, but I did play with buttons. So the next thing I want to do is go over to the domain manager. If you have your own domain, which you absolutely should, this is where you go set this up. If you use GoDaddy, it might take you a minute, 2 minutes to do. You just go into your domain DNS, and you're basically going to copy and paste this information over there. So that way you'll never see the name.remax.com. You'll always see your branded site. So the first thing I like to do is, do they have one? Because that's what I'm going to use when I'm building the site. So that's the domain settings. And I know we've done classes on that in the unit section, and I have other ones because they did kind of change things on us a little bit with the IP address there. But super easy if you have GoDaddy. Other ones
minutes.
So easy.
Yeah, just minutes in GoDaddy.
So the next thing, I skip over templates. I don't mess with it all. Navigation, I'm going to go back to that. First thing I'm going to do is go over to the pages, because I want to add a page that Remax gave us as a template when kind of COVID hit, which is this virtual home buying. So I'm going to use this template, and to make things easy, you want to make sure you have a name, a description. I would always add in like your name, your brokerage, the cities you serve, anything like that. This is just really the name, how it's going to display, and what the slug is. And then when I get into the more SEO, which I don't plan on doing that today, you can add in a lot more specific information, what's getting fed out for the whole SEO. That's more intermediate advanced. I wanted today to be kind of like, let's just set this up.
Easy peasy.
Right.
Yep.
All right. So now I've got that set up. Now I'm going to go over here to edit the navigation so that I can organize all these pages that we have. So we have available pages, and then this is what your navigation is going to look like. So you
out
have
of the box.
Right. Yep. So out of the box, I like to kind of organize, make sure I just drag and drop. And I think I had already done a little bit of this. So under resources is where I drag these over. Under the sellers, I add in the marketing services, which isn't there by default. And then I go in, make sure that the mortgage consideration I put under buyers. You can organize this however you want. So if you want, resources to be up top, boom, just like that. Drag and drop however you want. Reorganize the pages to what makes sense for you. This is just kind of how I do things. So the ones with the links, you can't edit those pages. They're kind of pages that were created by Remax. All of this is great content. Go in there and edit that to make it yours. If you have lenders you love, add them. Edit, add them all. So same thing.
The virtual one that you just added.
Drag that up.
Yeah, and that one, when you add that one, and that's just there, it's not a stock, like you just went in and added that, but definitely go in and edit that one for sure, because in that one, there's verbiage in there that talks about, I use Matterport and I use .loop. If you don't, you want to change that, because you don't want, like, out of the gate, somebody saying, oh, I saw on your website that you use Matterport. And you're like, I didn't buy a $5,000 camera. I don't know what you're talking about. So, like, definitely you want to click on edit, go in and read what's in that one specifically. And then see the one under like video. Yeah. Matterport. Okay. But if you don't use Matterport, get rid of that one. Or the one about
go over and go over to video.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, that Matterport's amazing, and I think that everybody should use it, but that might be not in your budget. So I get it. But definitely you want to make change, read this stuff. Virtual home buying. So Lauren is saying she doesn't see virtual home buying on her side. You do have to add it. So that was back a step. You went into add a page, and one of the ones you can add from a template.
Go create from template.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you'll see it.
Right there. Love
so
it.
It's something that was added after COVID kind of hit. The booj team added this template so we can easily add, but you do have to go add from template.
Yeah.
So that's when I organize my navigation bar. Now I'm going to go over to the dashboard. This is going to take me to that home page. If this is not published, it would be gray, and this button will be green to go ahead and publish it. So this I always open up, and I have 2 screens, which makes this a lot easier because I'm going to grab links from there with whatever I may build it with. So I'm going to use the social layout. That's my most popular one. There are several different templates you can choose from. Most are going to have, they'll darken the photo. That search bar's in the middle. So what I found is most people like to customize that header, and it's a little harder when you're using the other templates because that search bar's in the middle and it's going to darken everything. So we now just use the social layout because it has a carousel. I can easily update. It's not going to darken my photo or anything. So I use the agent social layout. So I'm going to go ahead and edit this page. If I wanted to change the theme, that's when I would click that. But I'm just going to go ahead and edit this social layout. And I was trying to, this pretty much we hadn't really done anything with. So out of the gate, depending on when booj was released in your region, will depend on what photos show up here. I noticed the newer
right. I didn't know that. I didn't know that the photos were dependent on when it got released, but I love that.
Well, because I noticed like Florida regions and the regions that got it first, they have that photo that's like the old remax.com and then some other photo. But the newer ones, they actually have like tons of photos in here. So it's all like sample ones. So you don't really have to do anything. But I think it depends on when it was released. Just like Joe is not on everything. Oh yeah, I skipped Joe. That's going up my little bar here. I totally missed that. Hello. So that was
you're messing up your own process. Yeah,
I am. So I try to go work my way from the bottom up. Reviews. This is big. So reviews.
Who's Joe?
This is where Joe's at. If you have Joe, Joe's here. We need to delete Joe, and we need to copy and paste from your Zillow. Even if you plan on using the Zillow feed that you can use, you have this manual section, and it's important to add your reviews in this manual section because it's going to pull over into your public Remax profile.
On .com.
So you Google your name plus Remax, you're going to see your bio, your headshot, everything Tavia just went over. It's also going to show your listings. It's going to show your awards. And if you have reviews in here, it's going to show your reviews. So it's super important. And it's nice to be able to have something somewhere other than one platform. But the good thing is you can copy and paste this from several sources. So if you use Zillow, if you have Google, if you have, if your broker has where it gets fed, Rate My Agent or all these others, you can copy and paste from your Facebook. You can copy and paste from anywhere, add them in here. So I went in and I pre-did. I went to, Candace is really big on Zillow, so I just copied and pasted. I think she has like 50 reviews. I went ahead and added them in here. You may want to add in the buyer seller's name, but Zillow, I don't know what their name is because their username is like some wonky thing that Zillow does. So I just put buyer seller and what city it was in. So that's how it'll show up. But make sure it's super easy. You copy paste and then you add. And it may have taken me 5 minutes to do 50 reviews. It's super easy. If you have a teenager or even my daughter was doing this stuff when she was 10, pay them $1 a review. If you have 50 reviews, it'll be the best $50 you ever spent to have somebody else have to do this for you.
It's just copy and paste. At 10 years old, put them to work, Heather. Put them to work.
Oh, always. Are you kidding? She was doing all of our community events since she could like walk by 2.
I love it.
And I think by 8, all of our hot air balloon events, when she'd see like older little boys and they would be afraid to go on the balloon, she would just get them to do well, I'll go on if you're scared. I'll go on with you.
Oh, that's amazing.
She would work it like even Boo at the Zoo. She'd be dressed up, and if people kept coming and they wouldn't take like one of the postcards or business cards with candy, she would make sure that that adult took a business card for one of our postcards.
How do you say no to a child?
Yeah, and then you say no to a cute little 3-year-old dressed up as a cat or something, you know?
Right.
She's been working it. She'll be awesome.
So pay the kids to do the reviews, copy and paste. And especially that 2-screen thing. Like I will never go back to 1 screen again. Like I can't.
No, it's hard enough when I travel and have to use a laptop. I'm like, you know.
Yeah. All right. So reviews, and you were up on there you go.
Yeah. So let me come back over here. So we're going to go back to the website. I can't believe I forgot the review part. This is that featured listings that we kind of changed on what was going to feed over. So these are mostly her listings. Of course, if she did not have 6, I think we only see 5 on the screen, but on the actual website, it will show 6 across. If she did not have 6 listings, it would feed in the office most recent listings based on the criteria that we filled out. And we have a header. I always recommend using a header that's going to be kind of local, or if you customize it, I'm going to put in the links. And I know in the Tech and Tools group, it's one of the announcement. I have like all these template headers, the size I use when I do them. So I'm going to go ahead, and I already preloaded in here. So I just go to edit, click on the photo, and I added a photo for her. We've got a couple of them here. I'll just go ahead and, well, I'll use this one because of her area.
Yeah, and this is a great reason to, like, our office had hired a professional photographer to take pictures of the whole area. This is what you use it for. You know, everybody serves different parts of the county, but then you've got professional photographs that you own. And this is one of those spots where I say, do not go to Google and search a picture and then just use it.
Oh, no.
Oh my God. Don't do that.
And the good thing is I mean, Booj has a ton of stock photos.
So good. Yeah. 419, I think they were in there. Like there's a lot that are just stock.
Right. So this happens to be a photo because Melbourne Airport is always listed as one of the top 5 destinations flying into. So this, when I used to love it when I would fly back from Vegas, because this is the view from my seat.
That does not suck.
That
is a very good view. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was always great. And if we had like delays, it was even better because they would just, keep us flying over this view. So it would get all angles. You're like, that was worth the money just to go to Vegas, just to be able to get these really awesome photos. So anyway, so definitely use this, or you could always use one of the photos that they have. We have the listing grid right there. This is kind of the video that's there. I always recommend going to Remax Hustle, creating your commercials, uploading to YouTube, and doing that. But if not, I'm just going to delete this. If your city or area has a great videos,
that's a great idea.
YouTube, yeah, grab that. I know I do a lot like in Stewart, and their board has done phenomenal videos, like Move to Martin County. They've got, golf in Martin County, fish in Martin County. Like there's so many videos. So it's really awesome for us to be able to do that as like a slideshow video, because there's so many amazing videos their board has done for them. So it just depends. We have, see if your county has a good channel.
The Chamber of Commerce, the local. Yeah, absolutely. That's a wonderful idea. So Hustle and then Chamber of Commerce, or vice versa. Yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
I mean, or all of them. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So all of them. So this is the profile. This is what's pulling over from Mac Center. So I've done websites for people, and they're like, why is my name that way? Only my mother calls me that. And I'm like, I didn't make it up. Like, that's just pulling, like, maybe you should look at your profile. But that's where it's pulling from. So we want to make sure the social's in there. We want to make sure your website's in there. And yeah, so and hers, there's no phone number. So I'm going to go into her profile to make sure one of those says primary, because I know we have a bunch of phone numbers in there. And I was like, what's going on?
Wait, what's going on? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then this is about me and account benefits. I don't use those either. So I'm just going to.
Me either.
I don't get it. I don't think most people get it. So it is what it is. So I want to add more blocks. What do I do? So the first thing, let me go over here. There's all these different blocks that you can use. So many fun things. I am going to add the blog, which is the Remax blog. To me, it's like a moving part, because it's going to change as Remax does a buyer seller blog, it's going to feed over here. So it'll always be different. No, it's not a blog that I came up with or anything. This is Remax's blog, and I do like because it's constantly changing. So Candace is real estate.
Ta-da.
Oops.
Real estate blog.
And I'm just going to save. So you can, and now I'm going to drag it up. Maybe I want it above her bio.
There you go.
I'm going to come over here and there's all these fun ones. I'm going to go to social media.
Yes.
Another reason it's important to have your social in your Mac Center profile is if you do, it's going to automatically feed over here.
Mm-hmm.
You won't have to copy paste every single page when you want to add that social element. If it's in your profile, it's going to automatically feed into here. And then I can just automatically save. And where's that down here? So I'm going to save it.
Love it.
Another thing to think about when I'm doing like the hyperlocal pages is if you have you can use the Remax Twitter. I do like that because it's constantly moving again. But if you have something in your area or you do tweet, make sure that that's changed over there. I just typically leave the Remax one. If on the hyperlocal pages, when I'm doing the cities, if I have an agent that is not active on Twitter, a lot of cities and counties have great Twitter accounts with videos and photos and events. So I add that for each of the pages. I'll change the Twitter account to what theirs is.
And school districts too. Like when I did all the, because in our area you search for school districts, the school districts, most of them will have, and this is an important thing that I found out the hard way. You can link to a page, but if a school district has a group, you cannot link to a group. So be careful about like, if you're doing it and you're like, why isn't this working? If it's a group, that's not going to play nice with a group. It's only going to be pages that work. So learn from my frustrations. Having kinds of copy.
And that's what's so great about the group is because we've done so many, like when somebody asks a question, it's not you, like, no, do it this way. Here's the workaround.
Yeah.
So the other thing I like to add to the sites is I come over here to featured. It's one of my favorites. I like this long width thing. I am going to, and I already pre-uploaded. I like adding a mobile app. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to add in this little balloon. And I'm just going to, let's see, download my app. I basically took what we used to kind of get and added my own because it's not as big. Like the one that we used to get was like took a lot of space. And I'm going to come over to Candace's. I have her site open on another one. So it's a lot easier. Yeah. So I just copy paste the link that goes over to her,
which is your domain. If you have a vanity URL, if you have your own domain /mobile-apps, APPS, or your long Remax URL /mobile-apps. Everybody, same. It's the same. So if it's taviaritter.com /mobile-apps.
And this is going to your branded app. So it'll take you to the page where someone would enter their cell phone number. They're going to get a text at how awesome your app is, download it, and it'll work for whatever device they're on, what store they need to go into. Yep. By default, this is now like a black kind of background, which I think it looks great on this one. But you can go to block details. You can change the name of this to make it easier for organizing, or you can change the theme. Maybe you want it to be like a white, or maybe the red, I think looks weird. I like blue, black, and white. The red, I don't know. That just looks weird.
It makes it pink. I don't know.
It's like a weird coral. I don't even want to say coral because I like coral. It's just, I don't know, something about it.
And that's something too. Like if you guys go in and you start playing with the websites, like look at those block details because there's things you can change on almost every single block. Like the pictures, you can change the way they're arranged. And even if you don't pick the social header and you pick one of those search headers, you can change the way that they look too. I have
noticed a lot of sites, it'll be like, I chose this, but where's my search bar? And some sites I do will be selected to one of these. So you have to make sure, go over here to default and your search bar pops up. Very rarely does that happen, but it does happen. And I remember the first time I was like, what happened? What's going on? It's not on, it's only on this one site that I'm working on or whatever. So that's for that case. So now we have the header that's kind of custom. We have featured listings. We added a blog. We added download my app. We have Candace's bio. We have her social. We have a send me a message. So out of the gate, you have like a fully functioning website. And of course, you can add even more to whatever you wanted. One thing that I think it's just been like my thing is to add these home, like the buyer seller guides. So I already pre-uploaded. Let's see, where's my seller? I don't have my seller. Oh, so I just go here. Now I have to go find all that fun stuff. So let me go. Let me go to my Dropbox.
But this, like, she's talking through every step, gang. So like, she's going through every single step here. But you could go through and do this, and it's only been 15 minutes, maybe 20, and that's not a long time. And then you have another thing to pop up when somebody Googles you, because everybody's going to get Googled, even if you get referred by a friend or a family member or a coworker. They're still going to go online and Google Tavia Ritter Remax. And then this is another thing that'll pop up. Or, well, they won't Google Tavia Ritter. They'll Google your name, but your name plus Remax. Then you've got your profile on .com that shows up and your website just by going through these steps and clicking publish at the end. Love it.
I mean, it's crazy because you only can, really out of the gate, it's kind of just organizing what's already there in a way that you want.
And adding that virtual page. I like that virtual page a lot.
No, I think it just seems appropriate.
There you go.
I guess.
Look at those. And those were the stickers. Love them.
They're just kind of funny.
They're so cute.
I know. So I have all of these graphics. I have so many. I have blue, I have gray on gray, blue on gray. You want black and white photos. You want realistic kind of photos.
What you want, we got it. What you want, we got it.
I've got it all. And it's all in that, in the Tech and Tools, there's like a pinned post and you download. I've got tutorials. I've got buttons galore. I've got all the feature things that I just did for the mobile app. I've got all of those all ready for you to use, whichever one you want.
Love it.
And I have all my template sizes and I have links. So if you use Canva, you can go in and customize whatever you want. On my header, I actually even have it kind of shaded so that you know where it's going to, you want to make sure to keep it, the important part centered so that it shows up on your mobile app, because that's where most are going to basically use. So this right here is pretty much.
That's a good homepage. That's a really good homepage.
Run-of-the-mill homepage, and you could actually add in, search by area and text and make that big and then link out to all these different cities if you want. You could add graphics for those. You can do so many things for your page, and it's just small baby steps.
This is it. But now you've got a great homepage, and all you have to do, it saves as it goes. So if she clicks exit here, then she's back to the homepage. And and navigate. Do you want to talk about navigation, like how they changed their nav?
What do you mean?
Like that, right? You already did that. Oh, you already did that part because there's the virtual home button. Like there's all the pages you've got. And if you wanted to add the buyer's guide or the seller's guide from the left, you just drag it over to the right, or that's already in there. Whatever ones aren't in there, you drag them over. Personalize them.
I liked it better when only the pages I haven't used were showing up.
Well, but this is why that changed.
I know, because you can publish, not publish, that.
Oh my gosh, I love that. So you can create a page and not have to have it in your navigation order for it to be live, which is a whole different class. But we should do. We should put that on the books for maybe April. I love it.
Yes. No, yeah, because I think March we're going to do, let's see, let me try to find
February, I think you're doing videos all February, right? That's what's coming up next.
Yes, we have so many awesome guests I'm super excited for March. We'll be releasing that here in a couple days. We just want to make sure everybody's okay with the designs we did, but we have some great people from all over Remax, Florida to Canada and everywhere in between. Not so much, but some great classes and content, every aspect of video that you want to do. We're going to cover in February. So March, I believe we have like Megaphone. We're doing kind of like more intermediate into hyper local again, pages, intermediate, and we'll also kind of cover, because Facebook Pixels was released. And hopefully by the time we do our class, Google Analytics will reappear. Because I guess it appeared and it wasn't supposed to, but it appeared.
But and leave it to you to find. It's fine. It's fine. It's all good. And that when you're using this site all the time, you're going to see those things. And the Pixel is out. That is in there. And you posted about that, or it was posted somewhere, right? With the Pixel.
I did post it, but because I had the Google Analytics, I took it out. But I guess.
Well, there's exciting stuff coming. So tomorrow, today is Thursday. So the recharge emails that are coming out tomorrow and over the next couple of days, look at those. There's a lot of really good content that's going to wrap up all the stuff that just got launched this week, because it was a lot. There was a lot of stuff.
Very busy week over there.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. There's been a lot of stuff that's come out. And the one thing that I can tell you is that there is a huge team in Denver that's working to make sure that all that information gets to you in a timely manner, and then it's all accurate when it comes out. It's amazing how well they all work with the goal to just help everybody make sure they know what's going on. So I'm digging it. It's cool.
No, it's awesome. So I'm excited for next month. I'm excited for March. I'm excited for R4. I'm excited for everything. So
good. It's a good place to be.
Now you have the video editor.
The hustle video editor.
It's been like nonstop since
it's not going to stop. There's just a lot more coming.
Good.
So keep your eyes open. Yeah. Really, really good.
Hey, it keeps me having a job, all these changes.
Right.
And it gives us great stuff, great content to be able to share with everybody else on how to do it. So of course, as you're building your site, if you have any questions, just type them away. I know this is live in the Creative and Tech and Tools group. Just know that the creative group, we did create the sister site, the Tech and Tools group, because we wanted to make sure that was more of the platform for as booj was coming out. So we're trying to keep that conversation over there and keep the creative group more for like the marketing and all that fun stuff. They're kind of separate, even though they kind of tie together. So, but if you go in the Tech and Tools group and ask any question about booj, there's a bunch of boojers in there ready to help everyone get their site going and all that fun stuff. So I think that's it. Thank you so much, Tavia, for joining on this fun class.
I love it. Love it. Thanks for having me. Anytime.
All right. We'll see y'all next week. Bye.